Hi Pre-Calc students at Harrison. Several students in class this week had requested the access to a video that would maybe show the process by which we created a best fitting sine function. So what I promised to do was that I promised to create a video that would kind of detail that and post that for you as you get ready for the Unit 2 exam. One of the advantages of having this video is that you can go through, you can you can stop, you can pause the video, you can go back and look at things again if you need to, but we definitely need to make sure we know how to use the technology we have to create this best fitting sine function for the exam. So I thought I would run through with you what is the problem that's on the practice exam that's posted on the class website. If you've not had a chance to access it yet, if you go to that site, you'll see this problem as the one on the practice exam that asks you to make a best fitting sine function. So we were asked here to model the high temperature in Raleigh, North Carolina. We're given data by month where X represents the month, and it doesn't say when in the month, and we can be a little bit flexible when we come to applying that. Here in this problem, 1 represents January, 2 February, and so on. There are 12 months, so 12 would refer to December, 11 would be November, etc., etc. So the key part of this, the thing that we've got to do first, is we need to be able to create that best fitting sine function on our calculator. I'm using my computer calculator just like many of you have on your ThinkPads. I'm going to turn the thing on first of all, and what I've got to go do is I need to go into my stat menu. Stat is the second button down if you go over to like column 3 of the buttons on your calculator. Stat, and this first option, edit. I can either hit 1 or I could use the buttons. Well, this time it's already there. I'll hit 1 to enter that. Now if you see old data on your lists, I cleared these off before I started the video. You can go up to the listing of L1 or L2, and if you have data that you want to get rid of, you can hit clear and it will clear them off. You hit clear and hit enter. Please, whatever you do, don't go up to L1 and hit delete. That will delete the whole list, and it's kind of a pain to get them back if you do that. So if you want to clear old data, go up and hit clear. Don't go up and hit delete. So what we want to do now is we want to enter all the X data into L1, that first list, and these are pretty easy to enter. We've just got the months of the year, so I'll enter 1, 2, 3 for March, 4 for April, 5 for May, 6 for June, 7 for July, and on. 8 will be August, 9 is September, 10 is October, 11 is November, and 12 is December. I've got all of my X data in the X in L1 where I want to store my X data. I'm going to use the right key to go over to L2. That's where I want to store my Y data. In this case, it's temperature data. So I'll put in the temperatures that I see that go with the months. There's 51, we've got 55, 63 goes with March, 72 goes with April, 80 goes with May, 80, one more try, 80, 87 goes with June, 90 whoops, I didn't hit enter, so I'll hit delete to go, oh, I gotta go back and hit delete. There's 87 for June, 90 goes with July, 89 goes with August, 82 goes with September, 73 for October, 63 for November, and 54 for December. Now the calculator won't give me a best fitting sine function if I don't have the same number of X and Y values, which I hope makes sense to you. We need points on the graph that have an X and a Y to fit our function through. So what we want to do here, to actually create a scatter plot, I need to go to second, and then I'm going to hit the Y equals button. That should take me to my stat plots screen. Now if you've been doing these in class, you may already have this first stat plot listed as on. If it's not, or if you have other stat plots on, you probably want to turn them off as well. I need to turn my stat plot on, so I'm going to hit enter, and it takes me to the screen where I can choose several settings. The most important one is that I actually hit enter here to turn the stat plot on. The next setting here, it gives you a variety of how you want to see your data displayed, and it should be this leftmost one that just shows the data points. I need to make sure I have the correct X and Y lists. We put our X data in L1, so that's correct. We put our Y data in L2, and that's correct as well. If for some reason you used different lists, you would need to change that setting right now. And the L1, L2, L3, L4, L5, L6 listings are the second features you get if you hit the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 buttons. See them there, L1, L2, L3, L4, L5, L6. This mark is fine to just show me my data set. I'm going to double check and make sure that I don't have anything old in my y equals, and I do actually. I've got an old function that I graphed previously. I don't want to see that in my graph, so I'm going to clear it out. Okay. If I now hit zoom, which is right here, and then go down to zoom 9, I could either hit 9 here or I could scroll down to it and hit enter. Zoom 9 is the zoom stat feature. If you have a scatter plot set up to show, graphing with zoom stat will show you the scatter plot in a best fitting window. So if I get to zoom 9 and I hit enter, I should see just the data, the scatter plot. And that looks like it should fit a sine function pretty well. To actually show the best fitting sine function then, I need to hit stat one more time. I need to go over to my calc menu. That's the second one over, so I need to hit right on the arrow. And I have a lot of best fitting functions. We're going to use a lot of these throughout the year in pre-calculus. The one we're going to worry about right now is the sine regression, which is right here, option C. I'm going to hit enter. Now, your screen might look different than this one. Your screen might go ahead and list out what the X list and Y list are. So if you struggle with that setup, let me know. I have a more old-fashioned calculator where I need to enter 3 things after my sine regression. I need to know where the X stuff is, that's L1. I'm going to put a comma. Comma's above the 7. I need to then put where my Y stuff was, that's L2. I need one more comma, and now I need to tell it where I want to put the equation that we're going to come up with. If you've got the fancier TI-84 or even the color version or something newer, there's a line that says store the regression equation, and that's what you want. You want to do the same thing there that I'm doing here. I want to hit variables. I need to go over to Y variables. The first option is function, and I want to choose one of the Y functions on my list. I have nothing stored in my Y equals list, so there's no reason to not use Y1. That's what I'll use. Should look like this. Where's your X stuff? Where's your Y stuff? And where do you want to graph the equation? And I've got all 3 of those things. I'm going to hit enter. On the fancier 84, you've got an option at the end that says calculate. But whatever you do, you should then in a couple of seconds see this screen. So what this screen is telling me, and here's where I would jot down exactly what this function says if I were you. Here's where we want to actually take and we want to write down the function. It's y equals, it's a times sine of bx plus c plus d, but they've given me the values there. A is 19.87. It's sine of, now b is about 0.49, round off to about 2 decimal places here. X plus a negative 1.89. That's the C value on the calculator. And then it says plus D, plus 70.30, let's say. So I just took the A, B, C, and D values that the calculator gave me and put them in the form of the function. This is the best fitting sine function for the data plot that we made. Now, I'm going to use that function in a couple of seconds to answer parts B and C, I hope. But I want to take a quick peek at the graph and see if that really is a good fit. If I hit the graph button, it'll graph that sine function for me, and it shows that that's a really good fit actually. It hits almost every data point exactly. So now, to finish parts B and C of this problem, they said, what's the period of the function? I remember from our previous work in this unit that the period of any sine function is 2 pi over whatever number's in front of the x term. We called it b in class. 2 pi over 0.49. And I get, let's do that real quick. Let's see what 2 pi over 0.49 is. 2 pi is the second feature above the little exponent caret, divided by 0.49. I think about 12.82. And I guess the question we'd ask at this point is, does that make sense, or can I explain why that makes sense? Well, to me it makes a lot of sense. The period of this function should be somewhere around 12, because if we're modeling a temperature function, it should take about 12 months for us to cycle through the whole range of possible temperatures. So that makes a lot of sense to me. Part C says, when does this model predict that the high temperature in Raleigh will be about 75 degrees? So here's what I would suggest you do for this one. The easiest way I know to get a solution to this is to go back to my y equals screen. Now I've got that, there's that best fitting sine function we put on y1. Let me go down to y2. Take me a second on my calculator. Let me graph the line y equals 75. So now I'm going to graph the line y equals 75. And if I hit the graph button, it should show me that line as well. There it is. And I could estimate, or I'll even do one better than that in a couple of seconds, what the intersection points are for the sine curve we made and the line y equals 75. In other words, these points should be the 2 points on the graph we've made where y is 75 is in both curves. If I want to find them exactly, I can do so on the Calc menu, which is the second feature above the trace button. I have a lot of useful tools here, and we're going to use almost all of these tools before our pre-calc year is over. The one I want to use right now is the intersect feature. Go down to the fifth option, and I'll hit enter. And what the curve is going to do is going to ask me 3 questions that I need to answer every time I want to find an intersection. They're going to say, what's the first curve that you want to worry about intersecting? Well, it's this sine curve. It'll give me the options at the top. So is that the one I want first? Yes. Is the second curve the line y equals 75? Yes, it is. Do you want to guess where the point is? Yeah, I probably should a little bit. Can you tell me that point? I think I hit buttons a little bit too quickly. There we go. That's my guess. I'm pretty close. I don't have to be perfect. If I hit enter, it should find that for me exactly. About 4.33. Or to me, that says about a third of the way through April. Maybe I'll guess like April 10th or so. About a third of the way through April. If I want to find the other intersection point, all I have to do is repeat the process. Is the first curve the sine curve? Yes. Is the second one the line y equals 75? Yes. And do you want to guess? Yeah, I do. Since there's several intersection points here, I should probably pick the point closest to the other side. That's probably close enough. Oh, I went too far. That's still probably close enough. It went off the screen for me. Guess this is what happens if you hold down the button too long. Okay, there's the other intersection point. About 9.76. Which is about 3/4 of the way through 9th month of September. Probably somewhere about today, actually. So about 3/4 of the way September, let's say maybe September 22nd or so. Hey, that's pre-calc test day. If you struggle with setting up the best fitting sine function and are still struggling getting this accomplished, or have questions about how to work this, please get a hold of me via email, Twitter, or just come see me before the exam. Hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching and have a good day. We'll see you soon, Warriors.